So World Rugby have announced their men's dream team of 2025, the best player in every position according to World Rugby. Now, of course, there are going to be disagreements about certain selections. At the end of the day, the world is full of great rugby players, but only 15 could get selected in this team. But of course, let me know in the comments who your team of the year would be as well. But jumping into it, the front row, it is all Springboks for World Rugby's dream team. Number 1, Oxenstad. Number 2, Malcolm Marx. And number 3, Thomas TOTY. Now, at the end of the day, we were definitely going to see 2 of these 3 individuals, that being Ox and Malcolm Marx, mainly because they were both nominated by World Rugby for Player of the Year. So had they not been in the World Rugby dream team, there would have been a lot of questions asked, but there is absolutely no denying the dominance that we've seen from the Springboks front row throughout 2025, so thoroughly deserving, all 3 men, and at the end of the day, you could theoretically switch out Thomas TOTY for Wilco Low, and it would still be an extremely strong Springbok front row for this dream team. Moving on to the locking duo, this is where we see 2 different countries, then South Africa, number 4, Maro Itoje, and number 5, Tadhg Beirne, both men doing a huge amount for their respective sides throughout 2025. Now, I know that quite a few people perhaps thought we may have seen a South African in one of these jerseys like a Ruan Nokia or maybe Fabian Holland, seeing as he won Breakthrough Player of the Year for the All Blacks. But overall, Maro Itoje, he had a fantastic year for the English. He is one of those players that does get under a lot of people's skins, but he is very good in that locking duo. And Tadhg Beirne, he is just an absolute workhorse for the Irish side. He is the lone Irishman who made it into this team and does thoroughly deserve that number 5 jersey. Moving on to the loose forward trio. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Number 6, Pieter-Steph du Toit. Now, yes, Pieter-Steph did play 7 all throughout this year, but he was playing it as a blindside flanker, as the South Africans do their 6 and 7 in reverse. So it does mean Pieter-Steph du Toit awarded as the best 6 in World Rugby. Now, the only downside of the reversal in numbers, it means that other number 6s don't stand a chance. The likes of a Pablo Matera, who I think has been absolutely outstanding for the Argentines throughout this year. He's been pretty unlucky when it comes to awards such as the Team of the Tournament for the Rugby Championship. He also did miss out on that, but definitely deserves an honourable mention for what Matera has done throughout 2025. Pieter-Steph du Toit, of course, he has already been a Player of the Year for the Springboks and World Rugby, and in this scenario, he didn't quite get it this season. It was Malcolm Marx who was given that honour, but Pieter-Steph, he is an incredible player, one of the best, if not the best forward in the world today, and he is always going to be right up there when talking about the current greats. So rugby number 7, I've given it to Tom Curry. Now, that one I think is a little bit intriguing, but we'll come back to that, as number 8 is Harry Wilson. He had a great year for the Wallabies, predominantly throughout the earlier stages of the season. He was great in the Rugby Championship. He really was leading from the front for the Wallabies. Players like Vesa, Joaquin Oviedo, another guy that possibly could have got the honour of that number 8 jersey had it not been for Caelan Doris's injury all throughout the season. Maybe he could have even thrown his name in the hat, but overall, I think that Harry Wilson does deserve that number 8 jersey. Now, number 7 being Tom Curry, he's had some good moments throughout this year. I know a few people were talking about Ardie Savia as a possibility of taking that jersey off him, but Curry, predominantly throughout the later stages of the English season, has been more so used as a bench player rather than in the starting lineup. So out of the 3 in the loose forwards, I would say that that is the one that a lot of people would potentially switch. Moving on to the 19 combination, it is Cam Roigard as the number 9, the All Blacks representative, the first of 2 in this dream team, and then number 10, Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu. He has been an outstanding talent for the Springboks. He has got an absolutely incredible skill set in that number 10 jersey. Now, of course, there is plenty of competition for 10s around the world at the moment. You've got the likes of a Finn Russell, although there is another Scotsman coming up later on. You've got Roman Intermac. Santiago Herreras for the Argentines has been extremely solid throughout 2025, even someone with the experience. Someone like a George Ford could have perhaps found himself in that role, but I do think that Sasha, in terms of X Factor and who could be in this dream team multiple more times in the future, this 9 and 10 combination, I think they're going to be some pretty common names for this team. Overall, moving on to the centres, it will be number 12, Len Ikitau, with number 13 being Hugh Jones, so another Wallaby in this dream team. Len Ikitau had an outstanding Rugby Championship. Now, I was a bit harsh. I didn't put him in my Rugby Championship team of the tournament. I probably should have, as when you look back at what he was able to do throughout that Rugby Championship, he was absolutely extraordinary. There's some great 12s around the world at the moment, but Lena Cattell, when he was playing his best rugby for the Wallabies, was really an incredible player to watch. Out there on the field, Hugh Jones, he's had a great year for Scotland in that 13 jersey. Also got the opportunity for the British and Irish Lions, but predominantly playing that 13 alongside someone like a Sione Tuipulotu in that Scottish midfield. He's got pace, he's got that power, and he is certainly a talent to keep an eye on for throughout 2026. Moving into the back three, the last three positions in this World Rugby Dream Team. Louis Biel-Biarrey, the lone Frenchman in this side, out on the left wing. Now, that is quite substantial because last year in World Rugby's Dream Team, we saw 0 French players. There was no Dupont, there was no Intermac, there was no Pinot, no Biel-Biarrey. A lot of guys missed out from France, but in this year's side, he does lock in that number 11 jersey. Number 14, it is Cheslin Kolbe. Not a lot of surprises here, even though there have been some strong right wingers throughout this year. I think that if Darcy Graham had avoided injury a few more times, definitely could have been right up there, but I don't think anyone's taken that off Cheslin Kolbe. He is an absolute freak talent from South Africa, and the scary thing is, some would even argue that Cheslin Kolbe as a whole this year hasn't had his greatest season in recent times. You know, every once in a while he has a bit of a shaky game, but it's the 10 out of 10 performances that he has in his other contests that definitely book him that spot as the 14. Number 15, this is where we do see Will Jordan featuring for this World Rugby Dream Team. There are great 15s all around the world. Will Jordan getting a lot more minutes in that 15 role this year for the All Blacks than prior seasons. He has been nominated for awards before under World Rugby, and his name in that 15 jersey doesn't really surprise me to close out the starting side, but that is the World Rugby Dream Team. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, a lot of people will have different opinions about who should have been selected in each of these jerseys. So like I said, be sure to let me know in the comments down below who you would have gone with in certain positions. But of course, I should clarify, this is not my dream team. This is what World Rugby have just announced and selected. It would be a pretty dangerous side if they were to take on anyone in the world of rugby. It's been an incredible year for international rugby as a whole, and as we build towards that Rugby World Cup in 2027, of course, the draw has taken place early December. Next year, we've got the Nations Cup, as well as so many other exciting parts of the international games. So hopefully next year we see some new names on this list and also some familiar ones and there as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.